today we're going to perform an output test on the alternator and in the charging system. A couple tools that we're going to be using today. So we're going to use a voltmeter. We're going to be using an amp clamp. As we go through the testing, we're going to do this testing loaded and unloaded. So let's go ahead and start the very first test. And let's see what kind of results we get. The key thing about this test being loaded is we want to make sure everything's turned on. So as you see, I got the windshield wipers going, we got our hazards going, we got the radio running, we got to turn the AC on, you know, get it real nice in here. That's how we do this test loaded. So we'll go ahead and get our readings here in a second. Alright guys, so now we're going to do the loaded portion of this test. We're going to read how many amps we're pushing. We're going to see what our voltage is reading off the battery. Like I said, like I showed you a minute ago with the loaded test, we got to make sure a bunch of accessories are on, like our radios, our windshield wipers, our hazards, you know, our AC. Got to make sure all that stuff is on. While doing this test, you also want to rev the engine and idle it at about 1500. So if I can get him to go ahead and start it up and idle at 15. The unloaded portion of this test, we're going to see with this amp clamp how many amps the alternator is actually putting back into the battery. Doing that tells us, because what it's actually doing when I say putting it back to the battery is through the charging system, the alternator puts current, takes electricity and puts it back into the battery so that it can recirculate. So we're going to get the amperage to see how much it's pushing back into the battery, and then we're going to check our volts and see where our volts are at. So if I can get him to start it up for me. Alright guys, so for this next test, we're going to do a voltage drop test. At first, we're going to actually do the voltage drop test on the output circuit. So as you can see, we got a test lead. We got a test lead on our output terminal. Down there, you can see a little black lead down there. We have an output terminal down there that we're hooked up to. Then on the battery, we're hooked to our positive battery terminal. With this test, we want to make sure that everything's turned on. We're loaded up, and you can just go ahead and start it. Guys, now we're going to check the ground circuit. We're going to do a voltage drop on the ground circuit. So as you can see, we've got our test lead on our ground, on our negative battery terminal. You can see we've got our negative test lead on our ground, which is, in this case for the alternator, it's going to be the actual housing. So the way we perform this test is we're actually going to go ahead and get the engine turned on. And we want to make sure it's still loaded. There's still everything on. So if you would go ahead and crank it up for me. Now, you see we've got about 0.5, 0.4 volts. Alright guys, so for this next test, we're going to do an AC ripple test. Now when I say AC, that means alternating current. Alright, and what the alternator does is it actually produces the alternating current, and then the diodes in the alternator convert it to DC voltage. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure, by doing this AC voltage test, is we're going to make sure that our diodes and our rectifier bridge and all that is working properly. So the way we test this is we put a test lead on our output terminal. See, I got the red lead down there hooked up. Then we ground it out onto the alternator. Then all we're going to do is get him to start it. tested even the AC, making sure our diodes are all correct and they're working properly. So I would say this is a pretty good alternator, and we'll go and show you some little parts of the actual alternator now. We're going to show you the inside components of that alternator. So let's go take a look at that. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got this alternator broke down. We start over here. This is our housing. This part and this part is the housing. When we put those together, it puts together this whole piece. It makes it one unit. So like I said, we're going to start off with the housing. This is the housing. This is a cooling fan. And for this alternator, it is air cooled. So what this does is it'll spin and it cools off the alternator. Then we've got our stator. And what happens is in this stator, this is pretty much where it all happens. This rotor rotates in the stator, and it actually, that's how it produces the AC voltage. As you can see right here, this is what we call a slip ring. So as the brushes rub against the slip rings, that electricity is ran into the voltage regulator, which regulates the voltage. Then the AC voltage comes to the rectifier, and that rectifier bridge turns it into DC voltage, which is then sent back to the battery. So that's pretty much how our alternator works. Like I said, we've got our housing, our cooling fan, our rotor, our slip rings, our stator, our brushes, voltage regulator, our negative ground terminal, and our rectifier. And that's the whole makeup of the alternator.